It is May 19, 2025. Good morning and welcome to the morning show right here on TV3. We are coming to you live from our studios at Desawe, and I also stream live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Safwa Boahin. Let's settle for the news now. British national arrested at Kotoka International Airport for attempting to smuggle substances suspected to be cannabis into the country. Also, Ghana confirms additional 2 cases of Mpox as health authorities intensify public health measures. And also, we'll be bringing you calls growing for a review of Ghana's 2-decade-old labor law. We will explore if the Labor Act of 2003 is still relevant in today's digital economy. Don't go anywhere. Let's settle for the details now. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Let's settle for the details now. Into our first story. British national has been arrested at the Kotoka International Airport for attempting to smuggle substances suspected to be cannabis into the country. The arrest was made Sunday afternoon, May 18, 2025, by the Narcotics Control Commission's detachment stationed at the airport. The suspect, who arrived from Thailand through Dubai, was found in possession of 2 suitcases containing 92 slabs of suspected cannabis. A field test conducted on the substances confirmed they were cannabis, weighing a total of 53.60 kilograms. 2 Guineans, a customs officer and a porter at the airport CIP section, were also arrested for allegedly assisting the suspect. All 3 suspects are currently in custody as investigations continue into what appears to be a coordinated smuggling attempt. Authorities say more details will be made available as the investigation progresses. The Narcotics Control Commission has assured the public of its commitment to intercepting illicit drugs and dismantling networks involved in trafficking. Let's still remain on this particular issue because NACOC officials have again arrested a British passenger on board British Airways BA 2066 from Kia Accra to Gatwick in the UK last night, and she was traveling with a suitcase containing 32 slabs of substances suspected to be cannabis. A field test was conducted on the substances and the result was positive for cannabis with a weight 17.72 kilograms. She has been processed and sent to NACOC headquarters for further investigations. We'll definitely keep a close lens on that particular story and bring you the updates of that. But let's do some health, where the National Public Health and Reference Laboratory has confirmed 2 more cases of Mpox, 1 in the Greater Accra region and 1 in the Western region. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 4 as of May 18, 2025. In a statement, the Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Samuel Kaba Akruya, reiterated the government's commitment to safeguarding public health and ensuring the well-being of all residents. The statement added that the respected regional health directorates have activated public health measures, including contact tracing, to prevent the further spread of the virus. Preliminary investigations indicate that these new cases have no epidemiological link to the previously reported cases. The Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service have urged the public to remain vigilant. Well, meanwhile, a physician, global health strategist and advisor to WHO, World Health Organization, Africa region, Dr. Banda Khalifa, wants the public to take precautions to help contain its spread.
It's important that for every outbreak, the population has to be alert but remain calm. This is because reading from the Ghana Health Service presser, they've already instituted some rapid response teams. They are doing case isolation, they are doing contact tracing. All these is essential in maintaining the outbreak. There isn't evidence of widespread community transmission as at this point. So we'll say that all we need is public cooperation and risk communication. So anything you do to make sure that you are not coming in close contact with somebody with an infection is key. So you will have to avoid close contact with people who are showing symptoms, either fever, headache, and rash. You also have to adhere to strict hygiene practices, regular washing of hands with soap and water, and also not sharing personal items like towels, beddings, and clothing. If you know anybody who is experiencing any symptom with a rash, you have to report to the public. And it's also important to follow updates from the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health, and other authoritative sources.
Let's now bring you a story that has been developing since yesterday, a downpour which have left many areas flooded, especially in parts of Accra. The downpour also caused disruptions to widespread power outages at Nankrom, a suburb of the Adentan municipality. Many residents remained trapped in their homes due to heavy flood in other areas, including the Ponglo, Taifa, Tuofanko Barrier Road, and Adentan, New Legon were also heavily impacted. It is very appalling that we always have to be dealing with flood whenever it rains. But let's move away from that and bring you another story where the Ghana Coalition Against Galami has expressed grave concern and disappointment over the government's ongoing failure to take action against Akonta Mining Limited for its illegal mining activities, despite clear evidence of environmental devastation. In a statement co-signed by Kenneth Ashigbe and Senyor Husi, the coalition condemned the continued inaction by the government, especially in light of the severe damage caused by Akonta Mining's operations. The Ghana Coalition Against Galami also praised the government's decision to freeze the accounts of Akonta Mining Limited. The coalition, however, called for swift prosecution under Ghana's mining laws, specifically Act 995, to ensure that no one is above the law. The Ghana Coalition Against Galami once again has meanwhile reminded President John Dramani Mahama and the Speaker Alban Kingsford Sumana Gbagwin of the petition submitted to them regarding the alleged involvement of the MP of Awen in illegal mining activities. Let's bring you some more stories this morning. And farmers at Achem Tamfo in the eastern region are fiercely resisting what they describe as the unlawful and forceful takeover of their farmlands by an irresponsible miner. The once fertile hectares of land are now severely depleted with visible signs of destruction.
Each passing day sees the encroachment of additional farmland, further deepening the crisis of several hectares of farmlands. The affected farmers allege that the miner involved has not held any form of engagement with them prior to commencing mining operations. They have vowed to resist any further attempts to seize their lands without proper processes and compensation.
Our family have been farming on this land for a very long time. Taking over our lands forcefully is wrong. We need the government to intervene for us. He has not engaged us. The land does not belong to him. He cannot wake up and decide to take over our farmlands. We will resist him from taking over our lands. This is wrong.
The chief of Asamine Tamfoy, Osabarima Kwamekong, is calling for urgent intervention from the police to prevent the land dispute situation from escalating into violence.
I want the police to arrest him because you cannot go to your own farm in the night, do farming in the night. He's a thief, real thief, and he has to be taken on.
Meanwhile, the miner insists he has done due diligence. The Minerals and Mining Policy 2016 emphasizes the importance of notice and community participation in deliberations related to mining activities. Civil society insists that the John Mahama-led government commit to actionable policies to curb irresponsible mining activities across the country.
Well, let's bring you some labor stories now. In Ghana's two-decade-old labor law continues to divide opinions on their viability and relevance to workers today. Passed in 2003, the Labor Act 651, provides a comprehensive legal framework that governs Ghana's employment and labor laws. Lord Edwasari, a reporter, explores the significance of the law in today's digital economy.
Ghana's two-decades-old labor laws are to cater for over 14 million population of workers in the country. But is it doing exactly that? There are two schools of thoughts. While some believe that the labor laws which were passed in 2003 have become redundant, another school of thought believes that the laws are still relevant today, although they need some bit of massage or review. We're going to investigate that and find out how viable Ghana's labor laws are.
Ghana's Labour Act covers key aspects of employment, including contracts, minimum wage, leave, working hours, contract termination, dispute resolution, and more. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, several new forms of work emerged. There are now gig workers whose work are often facilitated by online platforms for short-term projects, contracts, or remote work. Egypt, which also enforced its labor law in 2003, has reviewed the act to modernize employment relations, expand employee protections, and align its labor markets with international standards. The new law is expected to take effect in September this year. Despite concerns about some aspects of the labor law being outdated, labor arbitrator Senyor Ajabeng believes the two-decade-old document is still fit for purpose, although it must be subject to review.
It would be a good thing to revisit very quickly, and so that those aspects of the gray areas of this law and the provisions that have been most debated, okay, those gray areas would be properly flushed out and clarified. But even with the passage of, call it, new age labor law, if the administrative structures are not properly catered for, we will still be in this kind of quagmire.
But one of the framers of the document, Osengame, disagrees. He intimated that all concerns raised have been adequately addressed.
Honest admission, no need to touch the law. There's everything about gig economy, about the flexibility of employers employing the type of workers they want to employ, because now we are going to have a lot of part-time work. Okay? We are going to have a 24-hour economy that demands 3 shifts. The shift system is provided for in the law.
Institutions such as National Labour Commission, with a mandate to protect the Ghanaian worker, have been described as performing below expectations.
We only get to hear about most of the labour unions when there is time to increase the conditions of service, for example, salaries, sit-down strike, and sometimes when there is an anniversary, say Ghana Independence Day celebration or Labour Day.
Because the masses are always complaining. The salaries are not good, daily wages too the same, and things are not going on well, everything is increasing. For me, I'm not happy with them.
They have tried something, but that's not enough. There are a lot that they still need to do in order to better the life of their workers.
For the improvement area, I think they are doing it. The institutions, they are doing their best.
Senyor Ajabeng explained that the fault does not lie with the Labour Commission.
If they are doing the inspections, then most of the complaints that come to Labour Commission will reduce, because they will deal with the things at the enterprise level. But here is the case, it is not happening because they just are not resourced enough. In fact, their numbers are low and they don't have resources to move about. And that is one of the weaknesses of our labor system. in the country, that creates so much problems for everybody.
Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Joshua Ansah, stated that there's a need to review the laws to empower institutions and unions.
If you don't review this labor law, unions are going to be like that forever. And I think that for unions to become very strong in this very country, you must keep watch on the review of the Labor Act and all the laws and the act that is not in favor of the current dispensation should be changed and amended to suit a lawful and united unionism and unions in this very country.
Ghana's labor law in 2024 was put under consideration for review. Key provisions in the updated Act 651 include stricter regulations on private employment agencies, an extension of maternity leave by an additional 2 weeks, the introduction of paternity leave, and enhanced protection against workplace violence and harassment. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Labor is one of the things least talked about, but yet it holds the very fabric of this economy. In the coming days, we'll definitely be bringing you more stories on labor for us all to join in the conversation. But let's shift our attention now to roads, where despite repeated promises and actions by successive governments, several roads in the capital are still shrouded in darkness. The problem of non-functioning streetlights is not only a nuisance, but a constant fear that threatens lives, with many road infrastructure out of place. Christian Yale tells a disturbing story.
It is 9 p.m. in Ghana's capital, Accra. A city that should be glowing is instead clothed in pitch darkness. Far from being cosmetic, the consequences of this perennial neglect are nothing but chaotic, and each night in darkness is a dangerous constant. My journey began on the La Beach Road from Labadi through Teshi to Nungwa. The functioning streetlights were few and could easily be counted. This stretch falls under a 147 million cedis project whose completion has delayed. The Circle Achimota Road on the N6 is not different. The street lights here are not working. Also, from La Paz to Tetequashi on the N1, danger looms as well.
The Tema Motorway and the Accra Tema Beach Road, which is of very much concern to the general public, could not be lightened because of the ongoing construction works. Additionally, there is a maintenance works on street lights on some portions on the N1, which is the Tetequashi to Kaswa, N6 Achimota to Amasaman, and N4 Shiashi to Oyibi by the Ghana Highways Authority, and the contractor is on site.
I also conducted random checks on the Malam Junction Weja Kaswa Road, which has been a death trap for so long. Despite the absence of the street light, that stretch also lacks road markings, making life a nightmare for motorists. In what appears to be widespread, the N4 is not spared. From Shiashi through Okunglo to Madina, motorists and commuters navigate danger zones daily.
This is the Teshi Manet Road. Behind me is about 2 minutes drive to the Lekima Hospital, which is one of the major health facilities we have in the capital. But these poles have become mere decorative facilities because none of the street lights is working.
Every driver needs at least to see 25 meters when you're driving ahead of you. Do we have that? It's unfortunate that drivers are rather having eye issues because you need to strain your eyes in the evening and drive.
The cross sector issue at some point is either the Department of Urban Roads, at other places the Highway Authority, the infrastructure is on the highway, the assemblies, because it has security implications for communities, but to a greater extent the Ministry of Energy.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Okulu set an ambitious target to solve 70% of the capital's streetlight challenges in 50 days. That deadline is gone, and it appears very little has changed, but she maintains that her target was achieved.
A dedicated monitoring team was established at the Regional Coordinating Council, RCC, to oversee the progress and ensure efficiency. and I'm pleased to report that significant progress has been made. In all, about 126 streets has been worked on.
It is worth noting the significant work done after that promise to fix light on key roads, including the George Bush Highway, Independence Avenue near the Jubilee House, the Nima Highway, the Community 5 to Community 7 Road in Tema, and several others. But much more is desired. The hope of many for a war-lit city is still off, just like the Bobs.
To be able to sustain this progress, we have to begin the conversation among all agencies in the power sector to work on the modalities to release the MMDAs their share of the 1% charge consumers for the street light.
Basic infrastructure like street lighting cannot be optional. It is tied to urban safety, commerce and quality of life. This is not just an inconvenience but a safety crisis that needs a more targeted approach to resolve. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
Road infrastructure engineering in the country definitely has to be revisited because we drivers always bear the brunt of these things. But this is where we end our morning news right on TV3. Many thanks for joining us this morning. New Day continues right after the breather. My name is Safwa Bwahine. Have a wonderful day.